Let's go to Jason in Deutschland. Jason, Merkel said yesterday there's no Islamic terror. So did the Pope. It does not exist. Is that true?
I can say conclusively that's absolutely not true.
But then why would they tell us something that's demonstrably not true?
Well, as you pointed out many times on your show, the mainstream media over here is colluding with government forces to suppress reports of all kinds of immigrant on native population crime. And there have been anecdotal reports, of course, by police officers as well, that they have been instructed to either not report or underreport crime that has been brought to their attention by the local population.
Absolutely. Now, again, I have a stack of news, them admitting record crime in Germany, record in Sweden, huge national controversies covering up rapes. But according to our media, they made fun of Trump talking about it and made jokes about rape. Isn't that cute? But it's okay because they're liberals. Kind of like women screaming Allah Akbar, putting on hijabs in New York City or D.C. It's cute because they're liberals.
Right. Well, you know, it's selective. It's a selective reality that they choose to, subscribe to, rather than the objective reality that I think, people that like myself who listen to you and others are trying to get closer to that objective reality.
Well, thank you for your support, my friend. What was your point about Trump's secret weapon?
Yeah, I might never have this opportunity again. The opportunity is not lost on me that I'm actually speaking with you live on air. Could I have just 30 seconds to read a short missive about a secret weapon that Trump can use right now to totally level his opposition for a fairly decent amount of time?
Please.
Okay. Trump needs a secret weapon to stave off the wolves coming for him. What could that secret weapon be? What could be so disorienting and surprising that it could buy him immediate street cred with the average Americans and give him the extra wiggle room he needs right now to defeat the traitors within the government who are trying to bring him down? I have the answer. He must immediately federally decriminalize cannabis and give it to the states. The President of the United States has the authority to do this. The shockwave that would send throughout the establishment would be powerful enough to buy Trump some time to deal with the insurrection. Colorado is a proof of concept of just how powerful decriminalizing cannabis can be for both the economy and the social consequences of drug use. For example, all alcohol-related crimes and use among young people have plummeted since cannabis legalization in Colorado. If Trump wants to kill two birds with one stone, setting the U.S. economy free from its bondage and buying him some badly needed support among those inclined to believe the lies about his Russian connections, this is the only and the best single attack he could muster right now. He simply must free the greatest sociopolitically upsetting force in America, that is cannabis legalization. Trump must release what I call the Kraken, reference to the early 80s, Clash of the Titans movie. I truly believe that if Trump wanted one single thing that he could do right now or in a very short amount of time that would completely throw everything into chaos on the opposing side, this is it. And
no, I totally agree. Now, that's more than 30 seconds. Great points. Let me move on to get to other people. But I appreciate your point, Jason in Germany. The number one thing he's got to do is get the economy going for small businesses and the average person and get factories built in minority areas with good-paying jobs to reverse this whole race war BS, okay, that they then turn into class war. He's also got to claw back all the trillions in corporate income tax that people, via the laws, aren't allowed to even bring back. But I agree, socially, to absolutely take away their narrative that he's this evil right-winger, most of the public has smoked marijuana or does smoke it. When you decriminalize it, it actually shows that marijuana use goes down. Areas of Europe have done this, same thing happened. You can then tax it and control it. I don't want to legalize, I want to decriminalize. Then you can actually get it tested, looked at, and regulated. Because, let's say it, not having regulation in drugs, there's a lot of crap in it. Let's just be honest about that. I'm not saying regulations are usually great, but, with stuff like this, it's serious. And then it lets the states have the power to do what they want and follow through on the promise Obama said he would have of not going after the states. He broke his promise and didn't. And that would shatter the myth that he's this big right-winger. The problem is Sessions is good on everything but the marijuana. And a lot of folks, from the South and other places that are older really think that's like some kind of commie thing. So it's hard to get them to change their minds. But it would be a giant victory if, like Ron Paul, Trump said, put it back to the states. And I think he could make a statement and win a giant political victory with it. Okay, I just got major breaking news just during the break. I'm not complaining. If I sound distracted and it sounds like I'm mean to the crew sometimes, I'm not. They love me. They're great. I just, believe me, I'm way in over my head, okay? And so is everybody else, okay? Anybody that tells you that this planet isn't in major crisis and that crazy things aren't going on is lying to you. But there's just so much incredible stuff going on right now behind the scenes, and that's all I can tell you. But Trump is going through a lot right now to try to save this country, and you notice the British have announced in their biggest newspapers that the prime minister was a pedophile. Well, I had it that this prime minister wasn't just a pedophile, but slit children's throats. They would bring in white plastic paper, bring in about a 6-year-old girl, straight razor, and they'd just slit the throat in front of him, and then he would speak sexually aroused from that. And the media, go ahead and run with that. I don't care. The point is that, go ahead and attack me. I mean, when you've got stuff like that, I was told on air 15 years ago or more that one of the top British pedophiles they confirmed was a top pedophile, a procurer, Jimmy Savile, was indeed raping kids, killing kids, and having sex with their dead bodies. And I remember censoring guests that said that 15 years ago. And I remember censoring guests 15 years ago that said this particular British prime minister was doing it. So at this point, I'm not censoring jack crap anymore because those people were right. And one of them was David Icke. What does that tell you? And notice Trump's in all of a sudden, and all this stuff's coming out. Because I was told by NYPD and by other federal sources, watch, Trump's going to start rolling up the pedophiles. You're seeing it all over the world, folks. So there is a serious battle. And at a certain point, it makes me want to just, I don't know how to explain it. It's not run, but I like sitting on air just calmly talking about this almost seems obscene now. You know what I mean? It's either like run away with my kids somewhere, I don't mean literally, but, go hide out in the country, or fight them physically, or, just sit here on air but see, it's a war, so you got to be slick about it. And we're winning the war, and so I should be really positive, and so I apologize if I get negative. It's just that if I could tell you everything I knew about what people in the know, there's a war going on this planet between good and evil. I think that basically says it all, doesn't it? John in Texas, Trump and Muslims. Go ahead, you're on the air.
Hi, Alex. The left is using the Muslims as foot soldiers in a new horrible Bolshevik army. And what they're doing in Europe right now is basically a red terror.
That's right. No, they're bringing in their army, and then they're going to use the terror of the Muslims to get even more power.
In Russia and that they could do the same things over again. But it seems to me that's what the game plan is.
I agree. What do you think of Trump?
He's doing everything I want him to do. The only criticism I have of him is if he concentrate more on getting his legislation passed and executive orders instead of, all this backbiting trying to fight people that don't like him anyway. Allow InfoWars and all that media handle them, the leftists, and just concentrate on getting all this stuff passed. Because once he gets the economy to full employment and everything's rosy, these people won't be able to get elected dog catcher.
Well, do you ever think in our lifetimes we'd see such a super champion?
I never thought I'd see where us, the patriots and the common people, would have a foot in the door where he'd listen to us. He listened to you and he listened to the other internet host that we got to say something.
Now, he's the real deal. He is the real deal. There is no doubt. Donald J. Trump's a real president for us in our corner. He's Andrew Jackson reborn. Mainstream media finally figured that out, too. We'll be back. 70 seconds, more calls. All right, Blake in Florida, you're on the air worldwide. Go ahead, Blake. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Alex. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you.
First off, I wanted to say I read the failing New York Times article on InfoWars today. It's, kind of the same as the rest of the mainstream media writes, every day. But I decided that if no one's listening, it's because everyone's calling in to talk to Alex Jones because you're a tough guy to get a hold of. But I wanted to talk about the Secret Service and Trump. I saw a report on mainstream news. I can't remember the exact network, but they were saying, it costs too much money to protect Trump. Maybe we can look into possibly cutting our costs. And I was kind of wondering what you thought about that. I was thinking possibly they're trying to thin out the herd and make it easier for one of these crazy people to take them out.
Well, I mean, you've got mainstream media pushing for Trump's death everywhere. So that's undoubtedly going on. You've got them openly saying overthrow him in the media. So that's what's happening. Most of the Secret Service are great people. The problem is it's a government job. So admittedly, there's a lot of infiltrators. Some of them have openly said, I won't protect, Trump, or I won't take a bullet for Trump. So they're having to be, basically sent to Siberia or, sent to the North Pole to make that classic joke. But I don't know. All I know is he's trying to turn the economy back on with every real move you do to help the little guy and not the big guys. Now, the economy's going up, so the big guys are going to get some profit as well. And Trump's trying to say, we're going to induce things where if you invest back in your workers, you'll make even more money. But if you don't invest in humanity, we're going to basically push you out. Thank you, Blake. Good to hear from you. Who's up next here? Let's go ahead and talk to Victor in Canada. Victor, you're on the air.
Hi, Alex.
Welcome.
Hello,
Yes.
Alex. How are you?
Good, my friend.
A long-time listener from about 2006.
Thank you.
I wish I would have been able to grab some of the fluoride that you came out as the best ingredients I've seen for any kind of fluoride, period. But I was late and it was all sold out. But I want to talk about Donald Trump. I call him Donald the Great. I speak both languages. I speak English and I speak Russian. So I prescribe to the high policymakers in Russia. So I watched this thing for a long time. I use as my bio on YouTube, I use First Amendment because it's the only thing that I think that's worthwhile living for and fighting for. Donald Trump, I think he's going to save humanity. From what I see from top policymakers in Russia, like Zhirinovsky, they dodged the bullet with Hillary Clinton of a real war. That was 100%. So I watched Donald bringing jobs back, and I watched Donald trying so hard to stand up for the American people. A lot of them are fluoridated. You can't really blame them too much.
No, I agree. They're so dumbed down. They're like zombies, many of them. Very sad to say that, but it's true. They have no idea what's even happening. That's what's crazy is you're watching Trump do everything he can, and then half the public doesn't even appreciate it.
Yeah, and I love him for that. I believe that he's a crazy fighter. He's like a Clint Eastwood of the Western movie. I've seen him take out the best of the best, including the Pope, including Dalai Lama, the Queen. He killed all of them, but not, of course, without our support. That's how I knew American people really want to shake off those huge chains that they've been wearing for so long with the previous degenerates that have been running it.
He's only on for about 20 minutes or so. If you want to hold, I'll come back to you and finish up with you. If you got to go, you got to go. But thank you, Victor. We've got the Motor City Madman talking about him running for Senate. We're going to discuss it as soon as we get him on the line. Ted Nugent, straight ahead. I'm Alex Jones. This is the InfoWar, Infowars.com. They're trying to censor that URL. Help us get it out. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say, see, I told you so, that communist Chinese-style net censorship was coming to the web, because it's already here. It's being announced. The way you keep the internet open and free is you get involved more than ever. Go to Infowars.com/app. A new battleship in the fight. Infowars Live, available right now. We're looking for a crew to man it. You going to sit down and play games and be a trendy? Or are you going to be part of history? Don't sit by and let the internet and free speech be stolen from you. Take action.